Chef Higgins, thanks for your time this morning. We're doing this interview at your downtown Portland restaurant.
I'm happy to join you and share a little bit of the ambiance of the place.
You co-own Higgins with Paul Mallory. Your farm-to-table restaurant has been on Southwest Broadway for 3 decades. You're a chef who won a James Beard Award in 2002. The Oregonian named your restaurant its best restaurant in 2003. Yet in a recent social media post, Mallory and you wrote that unless things change, you may have to say goodbye. What changed?
We just saw downtown gradually wither around us, and we're not alone. There's a lot of other businesses facing the same challenge. And, the last summer, we made it through the summer, but we had to take an SBA loan to kind of patch through on that. And we're facing that again this year, and the idea of taking on more debt and with dwindling business was not encouraging. But we felt a commitment to our customer. Our clientele is fantastic, amazing customers. And so we reached out and just said, hey guys, can we all try and make a push here and get downtown back to where we want it to be and keep Higgins going? And that's what we did.
You mentioned downtown Portland has changed. How so?
Lots of, restaurants have diverse bases for their markets. So the more areas you can draw clientele from, the better for you. For us, it was a large portion was the arts market for events and all the venues around us, the university. But most importantly, what changed dramatically was the business folks. The towers around us are largely empty. Portland has some of the lowest occupancy rates in office towers in the country. So lunch withered away, and the happy hour went with it. But also, in parallel with that, we lost all that convention business, and then business travelers, and then tourism is a big part, and tourism has really shrunk. We used to see a lot of European tourists in the summer, Asia, South America, drawing from all kinds of markets, as well as regional and national tourists, and that's largely kind of shriveled up as well. So when you lose that much of your market base, then you've got some serious challenges, and that's what we saw. So,
in addition to the businesses that have left, the workers that have left, you don't have to look very far to see human suffering, quite literally on your doorstep.
Sure.
How is that impacting your business?
Well, it's improved. I'll say that. Is it where it should be? No, I don't think so. I mean, we still have a big problem to deal with. The city's working on it. They've made some progress. I'd like to see more. It's you feel a combination of sympathy and frustration, and you do what you can to kind of be on the right side of everything. And if you see somebody who's in trouble, call someone. But it is what it is. But it's way better than it was 3 years ago. So.
The social media post that you guys put up about your business closing said it was on the brink. What would it take to bring it back from the brink?
Well, the response to that social media outreach has been nothing short of astounding. We're packed, basically, and that's awesome. But and I know that'll plateau. And so what we want to do now is try and, if we can maintain, business volume of 80% or something of what we'd like, then we're going to make it. We've got to get through the summer, and our goal is to assess the situation at the end of August and decide whether we think it's worth continuing. But based on the public support we're seeing now, it's outstanding, and I can do nothing but thank everyone and express our gratitude, as well as the gratitude of our farmers. Our farmer, one of our main farmers, was in today, and I had to change the order 3 times because we've been so busy. I've been chasing to farmers markets to come up with enough product to get on into the kitchen and onto the table. So there's a direct impact. It's a food chain, and it's not only us. If we're suffering, our farmers are suffering. So we're happy to go in the other direction.
Safe to say, if the response continues, you'd be able to stay open?
We'd love to keep cooking for everybody. I mean, obviously I've been in this a long time, but I do it because I absolutely love cooking and sharing good food with people, and we'd like to continue that.
Restaurants typically don't have a big profit margin, about 3 to 5%. Have you and Paul talked about changing your menu or anything to reduce those expenses and be able to make it?
Everyone's well aware of the issues with inflation and whatnot right now, and one of the biggest things that happened after COVID, when we started to try and restaff the restaurant, was an incredible shortage of labor. A lot of people left the industry. Consequently, the labor market was super tight, and it became a buyer's market. So labor prices, labor costs went up dramatically in order to get the people that you needed to work and continue the restaurant. So that being said, and also the cost of food, this restaurant is based on impeccable ingredients, and I think that's why we're popular. And so we're not going to ever curtail either how well we cook or how well we choose our ingredients. So that being said, we want to continue, and obviously the model works, provided we can have enough volume of business to make it work. So just no compromises. We want to make everybody who comes in the door happy, leave smiling. So.
What are some of the financial challenges that business owners in Portland face?
Well, the city of Portland is not overly friendly to small businesses. There's outrageously high business taxes. We've been surrounded by construction for over going on a year now. You touched on the problem of just homeless people in the streets, people that have nowhere to go. Those are all challenges that deter people from wanting to be here. But we want to make sure that the cooking's good enough that we can turn the momentum the other way, and people will want to be here, and Portland downtown will improve for everybody. For come down for a walk in the park blocks, waterfront, do some shopping, go to your favorite restaurant, and be excited about it all year, not just in the fall or in the spring. So,
have you reached out to the city to discuss your concerns about the increase in costs and the fewer people who are coming to the area?
Well, we're optimistic. The last, I shouldn't call it, the last city council is mostly switched over, and we've got a new mayor, new council structure and whatnot. So at this point, we're trying to communicate some of those notions to people, but it's also not exactly easy to penetrate the shell of City Hall. So I was hoping I'd see more of them in for lunch and I could talk to them directly. So.
What would you like them to do? What do you want the city to do?
Encourage people to come downtown. Some of the things that are going on, changing the parking, I don't think is probably that's kind of like drilling a hole in the bottom of your boat. Short-term revenue gain, is it really going to make people, is that going to invigorate downtown? I question that. Things like that, just common sense things, like get out and talk to people, and then walk around, visit some of the people in your district, their businesses, talk to them, see what they're saying. So.
Have you asked any of your customers who are coming in why they're stopping coming? They're here now, but why people are coming downtown less frequently?
I think we haven't addressed that specifically with our customers. We're mostly gracious and thankful for their presence. And a lot of these folks we've been cooking for since we opened the doors in '94. So it's sort of like a family reunion, getting people back in and refreshing their memory about what we do and how we do it. And I'm confident that we're doing as good or better food than we've ever done. So kissing don't count, cooking does, and that's the kind of attitude we want to take as far as making them remember what we're about and being thankful that they're here. I think collectively, folks have kind of stepped away from downtown. I walk my dog in the park and people get chatting, and I'll hear, "Oh, I don't go downtown anymore," or "Nah, downtown's a mess," or it isn't going to improve unless people change that attitude. And changing that attitude means helping people out, coming downtown, going to some shops, go to the museum, do those things, and do that more. So, because if we all want the downtown to remember of 15 years ago or whatever, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take everybody's participation to do that.
Maybe people coming downtown, they'll realize, oh, it's actually a lot better than I thought, and that then will.
Well, I hear that quite a bit too. So when that's funny that the dog park is kind of a hub, but it's something I do every day, and I run into people that I don't necessarily know, and they don't know me, and then you get chatting, and you get a sense for what their take on Portland is and that kind of thing. I've been here a long time. I came here in '84 to open the Heathman, so I've been on these blocks right in this area for 40 years now, and I've seen a lot of change, and mostly for the better, except for this past 5 years, we've had quite a setback. So.
Recruiting people in the park is grassroots marketing.
There you go.
Finest.
Yeah, sometimes it's deeper than that, in the dog park.
Let's talk about that social media post. You mentioned you're jam-packed now for at least the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. What's that response been like for you?
For one thing, hectic, because I'm right in the heart of the food production, the prepping and the slicing and dicing and all that. So we went from trying to manage a small inventory, because restaurants, you got to be tight on everything you're purchasing, to having to go to maximum volume purchasing and prep. So that's a big challenge, and then for the whole staff to make that adaptation to going from 0 to 60 like that, it's like it's challenging, but challenging in a really good way. So right now we're just kind of adjusting to that change of pace.
You're not the first business that has posted about the circumstances you face, and the public has responded in similar ways with other businesses. You mentioned something before that I thought was interesting. You want people to do this to other businesses downtown, maybe even the ones who aren't making posts about.
Sure. I would say I doubt there's a small business in downtown that isn't struggling, or is not at least where they want to be. And most of us are persisting just from obstinance and a bit of optimism that it's going to get better. And this is a cry to say, hey, let's all do it. Let's jump in. Let's make Portland better. Because you can talk and blame the city for different things and that, but when it eventually comes down to it, it's the presence of people down here that make the city. So, if we leave downtown void of people, then you're going to have the downtown nobody wants. And so we just need to activate and get out there. So, and every small business I know would be welcome to more business. So.
Portland has so many restaurants, and it's not uncommon to see restaurants come and restaurants go. I think what's surprising for a lot of people is Higgins has been around for so long, such a staple in the community. What's the biggest thing you want people to know about the situation your business is in?
Well, there's nobody to blame for how things have decayed and kind of gotten to where they are. They are slightly upticking, but we need to do it faster. If people value businesses like ours, or places like John Helmer, or there's countless restaurants. I mean, Mother's, and you can just the Q, and there's so many places down here that are all fighting this same battle. Some may be in a little better position than others. It just depends how they got through the pandemic, and what happened to them afterwards. But the truth is that these are all part of the fabric of downtown. We're all woven into it, and the people that really believe are still trying to stick it out. But they need everybody's help. So.
Chef Higgins, thanks for your time. And I got to tell you, thanks for doing an interview in a place that smells so good.
Well, it doesn't smell good, we're in trouble.